I don't know about you, but the time and place that I come from, Line 6 used to suck. Time and place, right? It was the early 2000s and we all had the dream of sounding great and having the best sounding rock band. And there they were, Line 6 with their little bean pedals, a couple super boutique and nice looking amps too that were like fire and pretty expensive, and we were like, wow, would those be good? Because in the local band scene, everybody was pretty much just like forced to use either the little beans or the spider amplifiers. So now that we established a little bit of context of where I'm coming from, today we're going to be checking Line 6 Helix Native. And then the question would be, does it suck? Let's find out, my friend. I'm Jorge Lanzasing now. We break it down, baby. Hello, thank you for being here again in the studio. I'm happy to have you. And yeah, I said all that long spiel about Line 6 sucking. I'm sorry if I like hurt your feelings because I know a lot of people is very touchy about the things that they like. And I don't know what happened that all of a sudden Line 6 like turned things around. And now I have friends whose opinions I trust recommending Line 6. I'm like, what happened? Like, did I miss something? And then the other day doing my live stream, catch my live streams Mondays and Fridays around 2:30ish p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I couldn't control myself and I just downloaded the demo and started checking it in the live stream. But I promised to myself that I was only going to check 5 presets. And I promise you, my friend, that that's all I did. So today, it's a beautiful day for you and me to embark in this journey of checking out Helix in like a sort of like first look, but I already know how the interface works and I have a couple little tricks that are going to help our navigations easier. Right, so let's go check it out. So here we are in Pro Tools, and this is the only thing that I'm actually going to bash this thing about. They do not have a standalone version, and to me, I really like to have a standalone version. I don't want to have to open Pro Tools every time I want to play guitar. Sometimes I just want to like click, click, double click, and be done with it. But whatever, right now we're going to be doing a deep dive into the user interface and discover what this thing has to offer. So if you only want to hear the sounds, jump to this minute right here, my friend, where we're going to be making a little bit of noise. We'll see you there. But for you that stayed here and really want to go check out the interface with me, I hope we have a little bit of fun. And for now, let me know in the comment section that you stayed. Say, I stayed. Right, so here we go. Boom. First, we have the magic thing right here, which is zip, resizing the window. You know, some of the people like me that need a little bit of help with their eyes, we appreciate when the plugin actually allows me to use all the real estate of my screen. Because what would be the point of having like a big screen and the plugin like stays this big? So I really like when the plugin uses the whole real estate of the screen. Whatever, that's pretty cool. So first and foremost, right here in our top left corner, we have the presets. And we see there's Factory 1 and Factory 2. Factory 1, we have a ton. And like I was saying, these were the kind of presets that I was checking. I only checked 5 of them. But there's a ton, as you can see. And judging by the 5 that I checked, I think I want to say 3 of them were pretty great and 2 of them were just okay. Which in my books, for factory presets, that's actually a pretty good average because usually they're terrible. Let me know in the comment section if you agree with what I'm saying. It's not to be a hater. I'm just like, if I had a company, I would be trying to get the best sounds out of people so that the first thing that they ever hear in that plugin is like a great tone. And then when they start scrolling presets, everything sounds great. And it's a great depiction of what the great, amazing plugin that you're trying to sell is. But no, they have the most horrendous presets. And then you realize, wow, the plugin is actually really good. You can sound amazing with it, but all these presets were so bad that you would never figure it out. So not to bash anyone, but maybe there's some developers watching that maybe needed to hear that. And there's some other developers that pay more attention to that kind of stuff. Like for example, like the people in Neural DSP, they drop a plugin and they make sure that they had a partnership with some other artists that they endorse or whatever, so they can make their own presets. And usually those are the presets that are actually rock. So I feel like at some point that should just be like normal practice. Anyway, but let's stop the hate. Let's keep moving. Again, so tons and tons of presets. Then you can have user folders where you put your own presets, which are going to be the best, right? Anyway, so there you go. And then templates. I don't know what that is, but maybe we find out one day. Then you have IRs, which you can bring your own. Then a very important favorite folder, which I think which in a plugin with so many different presets, I think that's very nice to have. Okay, let's move on. Then right here, I don't know, we have the name. And maybe this is where we would open from disk. Pretty cool. And then here, you scroll through the presets, which maybe if you have a MIDI controller, that would be handy in some case, or if you're programming your shows, right? So yeah, maybe that's the way. And then you have snapshots, and all these snapshots are like maybe rigs. So within one preset, you have 8 different rigs. The way I like to think about this, like sort of nesting plugins where you have like plugins within plugins within plugins. I like to think about them like a virtual studio. So when I have like a preset that I can have different snapshots, my head translates that to basically just in my studio, preset, I have 8 different rigs, and they can have all the pedals that I want and all the delays and reverbs or different amps, stereo rigs, wet dry systems, you name it, you can do it. That's from the perspective of like design of the product and like the engineer brain in my head just like going thinking about what can I do with a plugin like this, right? Let's move on. Then you have an A and B, which is kind of nice too. Undo and redo, a tuner, which I want to make a little bit of a break right here because this is one of the first actual plugin tuners that I've used that it's been useful. What do I mean by that? Basically, it's like a lot of the plugins that I've tried, something about the ballistics, they're like either like too precise or too quick, almost like if somebody forgot that these are guitars they're trying to tune. And so the needle is always like, or the strobe just wouldn't stop going anywhere. And then you plug into your pedal or use your clip or you plug into a strobe and then you tune very easily. But with this plugin, I actually didn't have that problem. It felt pretty normal, like the strobe, the chorus, it just felt like normal. Pretty easy to tune with it, in my opinion. And that's a win. Then we have this little clock thing right here, which is how you're going to choose to sync the plugin with either your host or your presets or your snapshots. Again, that sort of like makes sense to me in like a live setting, not so much in the studio. And now these like little blocks right here, like component blocks, look a lot like an Axe Effect or like the Quad Cortex, right? And that sort of like makes it easy to watch your signal flow. And then you have your amps, dynamics, distortions, all this category of things right here. And as you can tell, there's a ton of everything. And then the first thing that came to my mind when I was checking this plugin is like, yeah, I don't like to see these little lists and stuff. And then that was the beauty of the live stream because boom, in the live chat, somebody told me just click this. So now you can actually see what you're getting yourself into, right? So let's just start exploring the categories. Let's start with distortion. You can see like there's a bunch of stuff that maybe they're using like sneaky names like Minotaur and Tone Sovereign and Hair Apparent, but you know what they are, right? We have a Clon, a King of Tone, and whatever this little small one was. I can't remember the name. And then, of course, you have all this huge selection. You have Tube Screamers. I like that they have the plumes by Earthquaker Devices, and it looks pretty nice. Then the Ratatouille, right? Like a rat. Pretty nice. Then we have this like esoteric looking thing, sort of like with a Vi looking thing there. And all this super classic pedals. Wow, even like a megaphone. And I really like to have all these kind of things for when we're trying to make like more like weird sounds, right? It's awesome to have a bunch of tools. So yeah, in the studio, it seems like it's a lot of stuff to play with. Then a SansAmp. Let's move on with the next category. Right here, we have dynamics. Again, same thing. Compression, studio compression. Wow, like an LA2A. And then Horizon Gate. This is like the Horizon devices. Oh, I thought it was going to open. There you go. That's sort of like what I would like to see happening. That when I click that pedal, boom, the pedal just shows up. But no, you get these little sliders, although they're pretty easy to use, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so easy to see it. So maybe as nice as it is to have something that looks in a certain way, but maybe functionality-wise, it doesn't really add anything. So at least they did that right, okay? Then they have more stuff. Let's see, in the EQ department. Okay, we have this guy that I recognize. Then most everything else I don't. Then we have modulation. This I wanted to talk about. Look how cool that is that they're using pretty much like amp sections like as effects. So in this case, they're using like the tremolo or the vibrato sections of like a Vox or like a Fender, letting you use it in your signal chain even if you're not using one of those, right? And I feel like we've all wanted a version of something like that at some point, right? This is pretty cool. Look, they have Univibe looking things, the flanger, the Roland chorus. Wow, like a tape machine looking thing. Let's see the next category. Delay. Okay, they have like a Echo Farm, the Roland Echo. We have this super classic rack unit. My favorite delay of all time, the Roland Space Echo. Then we have an EP34, like a tape delay. And then, you know, a bunch of options. Keep checking out. Now reverb. Okay, mostly like rack units. A shimmer, hot springs. I love me a spring reverb for my guitar tone.
Then a bunch of other cool stuff.
Can't wait to try it. Let's see. Then for pitch, we have the classic Whammy pedal from Digitech. Was it Digitech? Let me know in the comments if you remember. And then note generators, oscillators, octave pedals, pretty much anything you can need. Filters that I really like to use in some of my tones. That's pretty nice. Wait, is that like a Mutron? Yes, it is. Pretty nice. Then wow, we have 10 was. Yeah, it is 10, right? Then amps and cabs. I really, really like this, that they make the amp and the cab like a combo. Yes, you can always do whatever you want, but I feel like if I'm going to trust the company to sort of like get the tones that I want, first I want to make sure that they grab a great amp and they paired it with a great cabinet and they are so proud of it that they can't wait to show me that. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to like fight to discover the good sound in your plugin. I get it in the analog world. Yeah, you have to just pick the knobs and that's it. But in this kind of setting, if you have a great amp and a great cabinet and you put them together and you are so proud of that sound, give it to me straight in the very beginning. Just like, let me open the session and that's what I get. Whatever you are proud of. As a developer, of course, not as an end user. As an end user, you and me, my friend, we're in the same boat. Anyway, let's keep moving. And then again, I love that they're using the sneaky names like the Soup Pro. What could that be? Right? Right? And then a Who What. Pretty nice. All your tweed Fenders and your black toe Lexus Fenders. And then, ooh, pretty excited. Divided Duo. Pretty nice. I always like Matchless and Divided by 13 and all those kind of like boutique amps. And talking about Matchless. Look at that. Right next to Mandarin amps. And like sort of like these Voxy looking things. Park looking things. Marshall looking things. Wait, this is Park looking. Nice. They have so many options for the same thing. Then like your typical Mesa Boogies, Cali 4 Rhythm 1, Cali 4 Lead, Rectifier, Panama. Jen, you already know what I'm going to play when we're going there. Then Rev. Then something that looks like a Diesel and Line 6 Aristocrat. Wow, they even put their little Line 6 amps. That's awesome. Anyway, tons and tons of amps, right? And then you have amps, preamps, and then this is what I was talking about. See, they're letting you use some sort of like a stage of the amp, almost like a pedal, I want to say, right? You can insert this wherever you want, I assume, which is pretty cool. Then cabinets, of course, all the cabinets that you have. You can mismatch whatever you want. Then, of course, your IRs, I assume, whenever you have anything loaded. Vent volume, that's pretty good. Whew. So there you go, my friend. After all this talking, we discover every single thing that this thing has, and now we just have to listen to some sounds. But for now, my friend, let's stop the talking and get to the rocking. Grab a guitar. Today we're going to be using my PRS SE Custom 2408 because I trust this guitar and I know that if something is not right, it's not the guitar's fault. Okay, so here we are, neck pickup, split, and this is what the default setting sounds like. A nice, pristine, clean amp. Let's see what it is. Ding, ding, ding. Looks like some sort of like Fender, but let's explore and see if we can use a matchless. Let's turn the gain down, maybe 1.5, and let's hear it. Let's turn it up a little bit in the gain department. To me, this matchless sounds so good. Sounds so good. And I like that you have control over the sag, hum, ripple, bias, and everything. Let's hear the hum. I hope you're listening with good headphones because it's a pretty low sound, like in low in frequencies. Let's turn it all the way off. This amp sounds so good. Okay, but enough of that. Let's go check another preset. I'm curious to see this Rev Green Purple. Rev Gen Purple. Ugh. I think that sounds pretty great. Let's see the red. Let me try to turn the middle down. There's like a lot of mid-range in this amp. But as soon as you turn the mid down, it just works perfect. Let's hear it. I mean, it sounds good. Feels a little bit nasal to me, but you know, I've never used one of these Rev amps, so I cannot say if it's like a faithful model or not, and it's just that I don't like the amp. Let's see this AC Fun blah blah blah. There you go. That's the thing that I always complain about. The presets. Wow, this one is so loud compared to the other one. And I like that this is just basically them showing us the amps, right? Let's hear this Matchstick channel 1. Sounds nothing like that, right? That's crazy. Okay, let's move on with the next. Let's see. Tweed Blues. Let's hear this. This doesn't want too much push coming from your guitar, so I turned the volume down a little bit. And now it's way better for me. Let's hear this Line 6 Ventox. Wow, I'm surprised that it's not high gain. It actually sounds pretty good. Let's turn the gain up a little bit. And definitely the channel volume down. Not bad at all. Wow, that's pretty good. Let's see another preset. Let's see this Bubble Nest. See what it is. I don't know what I would use that, but that's fun that it has it. Dusted. Interesting. Let's hear this. Cowboys from DFW. This almost sounds like there's no cab, right? Or something. I wonder if this, I don't know, where did that come from? That doesn't sound anything like Pantera, whatever. Let's see the bulb rhythm. I almost need to give my ears like a little bit of time to like come back to like the normal sound, because that amp like totally messed me up. Like absolutely no bass, old treble. Ugh, that was a little bit odd for me. I don't know what you think about it, but let me know in the comment section, my friend. And while you're there, remember to like, subscribe, and do all those cool little things that we like to do on YouTube. And enjoy this little bossa nova, my friend. I hope your day keeps getting better and better. All right, let's go back. This one, the gate is killing me a little bit. Let's turn it off. Get back to the amp. To me, that's a big problem. The fact that they don't mess with the volume. I mean, whoever did this one, I think it's Bulb. I would assume that that's Misha. And I want to say that the burden is not on him. It's like on whoever is doing the QC, they should make sure that all the outputs are sort of matching, right? Now that we have the volume up, let's see what happens. Anyway, whatever, let's check the bulb ambient. See what we have here. That's never ending. A little bit too much. Let's check another preset. Let's see another name. Ooh, Rabia Ambi Lead. Very interesting usage of like the stereo image. If you hear like there's a lot happening here on the left and not a lot happening on the right. Pretty cool. Let's check the chugs. I wonder why this is a stereo rig. It shouldn't be. In my opinion, of course. I usually really like Rabia presets, and I don't know if he did this, but this doesn't even sound like him, and I don't really like it at all. Let's see what else we see. We have something called Are You Serious? Let's see what this is. I wonder if the "Are you serious" comes from having all these delays on. Let's see what happens. This one totally just killed the vibe. It's just so hard to anticipate what it's gonna do. I wish I could play with it, but it sounds like a great source for like an intro or like an outro. But at least it lets us know how crazy you can get with this plugin, huh? Pretty nice. Let's see this reds all around. I wonder when it says red means like Red Schultz. Let's see this Pete Thorne duo. It's a nice sound. Very interesting tone, I don't know. Very interesting, but again, that thing about the masters like not getting anywhere close is just very complicated for me to judge, right? On that note, my friend, let's go get a few conclusions. All right. Line 6. I think like it totally like sort of like vindicated themselves in my head because this plugin, it's nowhere near the quality that I was expecting. Of course, we always have that problem with the presets because we already established that presets usually tend to sound pretty bad, and that is a terrible thing for manufacturers, and they should definitely try to get their game on because it's their plugin that doesn't sound good to the end user. Nobody's thinking about engineers or sound designers or anything. You're thinking about the Line 6 Helix. And as you could tell, there's a bunch of these presets that, in my opinion, felt like just
straight up trash.
But there's also a few things that I was able to notice. And like, for example, this hi-fi effect that it has, like most things sound really hi-fi, except in like the couple moments that it definitely sounded terrible. But again, that doesn't feel like it has anything to do with the actual plugin itself, but whoever is making the presets. So I'm like pretty interesting to actually get in there and try to make my own presets or like a template or something that I can work off of and actually discover the sounds, because I'm super excited to see brands like Park, Matchless, Divided by 13, and all these lot of boutique stuff that, you know, in my opinion, it's like interesting to at least listen to, see if they have any place in our studio, and most importantly for me, if this could be the replacement that I've been looking for Amplitube 6, because I don't know if there's gonna be an Amplitube 6, my friend. But anyway, that's enough ranting about that. If you want to check how to get the actual sound from the guitars in the 2000s, like all the American Rejects, My Chemical Romance, POD, Old Tip, 3 Doors Down, 3 Days of Grace, and the line goes on and on and on and on and on and on, go check this video right here, my friend. I'll be waiting for you right there. Thank you for being here again today.